Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Ashley, and today I'm making some Mocha Macarons, and so I was going to take you along with me to show you how to do it. Hope you enjoy! Okay, so first, before we start making the macarons, we're going to make a ganache, and so that's going to be half a cup of chocolate chips and half a cup of half and half. I have seen it where people have used, heavy whipping cream, but I just didn't have that, so I found a recipe for a half and half recipe. So you're going to heat the half and half up so it's really hot, and then you're going to let the chocolate chips soak in it for a little bit until they start to become melty, and then you're going to give them a stir until they're all combined. We ended up having to add some extra chocolate chips to ours because it was a little too thin, so we probably used about 3/4 of a cup of chocolate chips, I would say, in the end. And then we did have to microwave it just a little bit longer to get it all melted, the ones that we added. But then in the end, this is what we turned out with. And then we covered it with plastic wrap, touching the surface, and put it in the fridge to chill. Okay, so now we're going to beat together 3 room temperature egg whites. And we're going to get that to really nice and frothy. And then we're going to add in 1/4 of a teaspoon of cream of tartar and a cup of sugar. And so while those are mixing, we want those to get mixed on high so they can create our meringue that we will be making the macarons with. And while I have those whipping together and forming our meringue, I'm in another bowl going to sift out 1 cup of almond flour, 1 cup of powdered sugar, 1 teaspoon of dark cocoa powder, and 1 teaspoon of instant coffee. You can also probably use espresso powder if you have it, but I just had regular instant coffee, so that's what I'm using. Okay, so now we're going to check back up on our meringue to see how it's going. We want to whisk this and let it whip until it is a stiff peak consistency. So we want it to where if we shake it around and we move that whisk around, that it is not going to budge. We want that because that's going to give our macarons the structure that it needs to rise in the oven. So if your meringue is under whipped and it's too flat or it's too soft, you're not going to get your macarons to rise, or they can, the feet can end up like going outward a lot, and they're finicky cookies anyway. So from what I understand, you can't over whip it if you have the cream of tartar in there. So I would just err on the side of caution and whip it longer than you think. So once we have it to the consistency that we want, we're going to add it into our dry ingredient bowl with our sifted ingredients. And we are going to gently fold the meringue and our dry ingredients together. This is where a lot of people seem to make some of the most mistakes, by either under mixing or over mixing. So the ideal consistency that you're looking for is you want it to be ribbony and you want it to flow like lava or honey. Something that I really like to look at when I'm doing it is to try to make the figure eights. I try to make as many figure eights as possible and then see how it starts to blend into itself again. And surprisingly, it is a lot trickier to mix than I thought, because this is only my second time ever making macarons. The first time we made some red velvet ones for Valentine's Day. And it's surprisingly a lot more sticky, and you get kind of an arm workout from doing this. But I'll show you what you don't want to look for and how you know that you need to still keep mixing. I'll lift up my spatula here in a minute, and you'll see that it just kind of like plops off of it in like one big clump. You don't want that. You want it to flow in one consistent ribbon, so that you can make a figure 8. And there's like a fine line between undermixing and overmixing. So far I have been successful with my attempts, but I'm sure I'll come across it sometime where I mess it up because it's easy to do. Okay, so here I'm showing you we are pretty much there. I did give it a couple more mixes after this, but you can see I did a figure 8 pattern and I was able to do a couple of them with it staying together. It broke a little bit here and there. That's why I gave it like 3 or 4 more folds, and then I added it to my piping bag. You can put a tip at the end of it. I just haven't, because that's just how we roll. Okay, so now we're going to start piping. I really wish that I had like a marked mat. This is a silicone mat that I just got from Amazon. It comes in a 2-pack. But I wish I had one that had like the guides on it because it'd help with trying to get a consistent shape. But you know, I find it easiest to hold it up and pipe up and like straight up and down, and then give like a quick like little like flick of your wrist to kind of like curl the top there real quick. That's what I prefer. And then I have to say, my sister Sayla was helping me make them. She helped me make my last ones that we did, and I think it just might become our new little thing that we bake together because so far we've had some pretty good luck making them together. So she's going to help pipe some, and I just kind of went over and made the ones that she piped just a little bit bigger because they ended up being a little small. But you know, she's still learning in the baking world, so some of the shapes and the spaces between everything aren't consistent, and that's okay because it's all part of learning. It's just a fun little thing for us to be able to do together. So once we have all of those piped, we're going to take our pans and we are going to smack them on the counter to try to get any extra like air bubbles and things out that could be on the surface. And then we are going to let these rest until they form a skin on top, and you can touch them with your finger and nothing comes off. I think for us we waited about 45 minutes, and that was good enough for us. Okay, so while those are resting and they're forming their skin, you're going to set your oven to 350 and bake for about 15 minutes. It really just depends on where you live and the temperature of your house. So after they are done, they should look like this. Sorry for the noise in the background. I got 3 little kids. And then this is what they look like when they are done. They have all their little feet. And I think they look pretty good. The second pan that was on the bottom got a little overdone, and the pan kind of warped a little bit, so the feet kind of got a little funky, but that's okay. It's all about trial and error. And then I'm just showing you what the bottoms look like. They aren't hollow. They turned out perfect, and I'm very happy with the results. And so then here I am just showing you that I paired up the shells with like a similar shape and size, and I did that with all of them, and then I'm going to fill them with the ganache. Okay, so this is the end result of all of them. They were a huge hit across the board, and they are even better if you let them rest for 24 hours before eating. They get nice and soft and chewy. They are delicious, and I highly recommend trying this recipe if you haven't yet. They are very intimidating, but not near as difficult as I originally thought they were going to be. And I really enjoy making them. So I hope you guys like this video. Like and subscribe and comment below. Thanks!